Fellas, welcome to another episode of the Bussin Spring Football Tour. I am Will Compton. If you're just tuning in, you're from Oregon, wherever you're at, if this is brand new to you, welcome to the Bussin' with the Boys channel. Please make sure you subscribe and leaving comments. During our Bussin' with the Boys Spring Football Tour, we sit down with head coaches and a couple players from each school we go to, get some background on them, talk about their story a little bit. On this episode, you're about to watch Tez Johnson and Dillon Gabriel. Tez, he has an incredible story, was adopted by Bo Nix's family at the age of 15. We talk about before he got there, as he made his way to Oregon, which was his favorite school growing up. Dude has incredible charisma. He's super funny. Dillon Gabriel, he's obviously transferred around absolutely everywhere, earned himself like 2 extra years because of COVID and I believe a medical red shirt. But he has now made his third or fourth, I don't know. We talk about the entire journey. He actually starts interviewing me at the very end on advice and things like that. These are incredible conversations. Portland, Eugene, Oregon, you guys were the absolute best. It felt like everybody I met was the nicest human being in the world. And again, if you guys are here for the first time, please make sure you are subscribed. And also, no, I am not a boy mom. Our hats, we stocked these last week. We had about 200 in stock. They were gone within an hour. And we are now restocked. They will get to you by Mother's Day. Just go to store.barstoolsports.com and click our brand, Bussin' with the Boys, and you'll find our boy mom merchandise there for awesome Mother's Day apparel. And tomorrow, for those curious about the Coach Dan Lanning episode, we sit down with him. He's our interview tomorrow on our Bussin' with the Boys podcast on absolute incredible, one of the grittiest rises. If he wins a natty, this will be one of the grittiest rises in coaching history. The dude was a linebacker at William Jewell, was a high school football coach at Park Hill South, grinded, sent emails, letters, and everything else. I don't want to spoil the entire episode. Drives 13 hours from meeting this coach from a college football clinic and has made his rise, got to be a GA at Alabama, position coach, a coordinator, all of the above, and now he's the head coach at Oregon. That interview comes out tomorrow on our Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Again, big hugs, tiny kisses. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy these episodes. Tez Johnson, welcome to Bussin' with the Boys. We are stoked to have you on. I feel like you have had such a unique journey getting to this point. Like I read and saw that you were adopted by the Nix family. You were what, 15 years old?
Yeah, I was 15 going on 16. It was, April 23rd?
Don't be scared to put that thing close to the lips now.
April 23rd.
Oh, damn, you got it.
18, so that's when the day I got adopted. So
talk about getting to that point at 15 and being taken in by Coach Nix and their family. Because I was reading some things, like I saw your mother have quotes in there and everything else, but I would love to learn more about how you got there.
It was a complete change for me. It was a different journey, as we all know, because being a black kid, just moving into a White House, and it was like you had to learn different ways of how to live life. I was more like, I won't say on my own, but I was more doing whatever I wanted, like defiant as a kid. Yeah. And they taught me rules that you got to obey some rules to get where you need to be. And you have to do the right things to be well in order to get where you need to get to. And my biological mom loved them to death. Like, she knows that they helped me a lot, and she's always been supportive of what they have done and how they've changed and impacted my life. It was kind of the Nix family taking some stress off my mom's shoulders, and every day she prays, and every day that like they continue to do that and make me a better man like I am today. So
was it something that you were resistant to at first?
I wasn't like resistant, because I remember walking into the house and they was eating at the dinner table, and like me and my brothers, like we always take the plate and go to the room, and literally, like I always used to have like dreams like of eating at the dinner table. And we did some nights, but it wasn't like everybody else would just take their plate to the room and play the game or whatnot on the floor. But they was eating at the dinner table. I was like, okay, I don't want to leave. Like, they eat at the dinner table. Okay, I want to stay. So I never told them that. I never like showed it, because I was scared to death. As soon as I walked in the house, I was scared to death. It's me and everybody eyes on me now. I'm like, all right, okay. Like, what am I going to do? And I was just spooked. The whole time I was spooked.
Were you like before that? Were you around like wrong groups of people? Yes. Or you like getting into trouble?
Yeah, I was getting into trouble around the wrong people. I was always getting suspended from school. I used to never like come home. I used to just end up showing back up to school the next day, just because like football. I was always good at football. I was actually just becoming better at football, and I knew that was just a way I can cope with all the problems at home, or like just to get my mind off everything. Football was my passion and the way I can just cope with a lot of stuff. So I used to never go home, and I used to just be out with the wrong people, and just I knew the next day how to get to school, whether I walked or whether I rode with somebody. But I was always at school the next day and just like there for football. Like I couldn't miss football. It was like like my dad, he made it so strict of like you can't miss football. Like you have to do this. Like football was that it had like a kind of a structure over my life to where like I know like I can't miss this or I can't play. Like, so that's pretty much what it was.
And you think too, like if you're in like the wrong crowds or you're getting into trouble or anything like that, I would almost assume that you almost wouldn't have had the mentality of, okay, they're eating at the dinner table, I want to stay here, I want to be here. Like knowing that this is the right thing for you. Do you feel like you, even though you were hanging around wrong groups and in the wrong situations, do you feel like you were always somebody that kind of was like sitting back and seeing like, whether it's showing up to school the next day or being like, I don't necessarily want to be a part of this. I'm just kind of like, this is just my association.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was always thinking. Like they'll go do some bad stuff and I knew it was bad, but sometimes I can just get like, pulled into it just because I'm around the wrong people. And I knew it was the wrong thing to do, but I just did it just because of, like, that's all I knew at the time. Like,
yeah.
I always used to be like, oh, no, like, this can get me in trouble for football. I can't play. But I still used to do it, and I used to get away with it. And until that last time, I didn't get away with anything, so I just dealt with that for, like, a year.
Are you able to talk about the last time?
I prefer not to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But it was just like I can tell you, like the situation. Definitely, I'm happy I made it when I was young, and now that I'm older, it makes me more careful about every decision I make. Whether that's buying food at the store, whether that's going someplace, like just to get food. Like it makes me think 3 times before I do anything.
Yeah.
So.
You're in Bo's relationship. Talk about that. When you moved into the house, you guys obviously won a state title together.
So, staying with Bo was always serious. Still is serious to this day. Like he was the kid in high school like nobody wanted to talk to. Like he was scary. He was like my dad.
Oh, for real?
Like seriously, like he was always like in school. He doing his homework. He's at baseball or he's at football. Like he was already a college student in high school. Like he was
just a pro at a young age.
Pro at a young age, and you could just tell. Like kudos to my dad and my parents. Like my parents, like they raised him to be this well kid, and everybody knows. Like he was a baby, he was bad. Like that's how he grew up. Like he was a hard-headed kid, but
yeah.
As he got older, you can just tell. Like he was raised to be, all right, you got to be a pro at everything you do. You have to do this. And me, I'm looking at that at a young age now. When I moved in with him, I'm like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. Like like. I was trying to follow in his footsteps, but it was at a different position. But before he got there, I was at quarterback. So I moved to DB.
Okay.
And you look at them highlights. I can tackle a little bit.
You was nice?
But all seriousness, I was the receiver scared to death. And like the stuff he used to do and used to just tell me, I just always believed. And I knew I couldn't drop a pass from him. Like if I dropped a pass from him, I feel like I let everybody down, especially him, because he was just so, like I said, he was just so top tier in high school. Like he was this guy, he was the #1 quarterback. He was Mr. Football. Like he had all sorts of records. But in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I can do that too. Like, what if I get in that picture and break a record or something like that? But my first game, I go out there against Hoover High School. We played George Pickens, and everybody know, like,
Hoover, the two-a-day school.
Oh my goodness. At Hoover, like he was a man amongst boys. I didn't watch George Pickens do some stuff in high school. Like it was crazy. So we go out there and play him on ESPN this is my very first game. I'm 130.
It's your first game?
First game in high school, like actually playing
on
and
TV.
Starting. Like ESPN, we playing at the Hoover Mat where they play the College World Series. Like I'm in the game and I'm 130 soaking wet and I'm balling. Like I'm out there balling. I was the first touchdown for like the whole whole game. I was the first touchdown until like the end. They took all their good players out. We got beat 55-14. So, but we got beat bad.
That's how they dogged them out. They got them.
I'm balling. I had like 12 catches. I had like 112 yards and a touchdown for like the whole game. And right then and there, I knew okay, I can play. Like I can play a little bit. I had a little confidence, but I was still timid and scared. I didn't know the game. I would just run out there, running routes, playing and catching. They used to tell me, like in high school, my dad used to call plays like menu 9 T whip or T dig because I didn't understand the concepts at the time. But Bo and my dad took it upon himself. Like when Bo left, my dad and my little brother Caleb worked with me more on like learning plays and just being able to understand like where you need to be. And it was no more.
And why you need to be there.
Yeah, why I need to be there. And like it was no more T whip or T dig or T corner. It was like menu 9 H post. All right, now I know. Like I'm the H now. I'm the post guy. I'm finna take the top off the defense now. Like I knew that, and that helped me so much. Like in the long run, and now that I can see everything moves slow for me now. And like high school was, I feel like high school we was a 6A, but the coaches we had was college coaches. Like my dad was like strict, hard-nosed, still is like hard-nosed, like you have to do it this way or you cannot play. Like, and you have to buy in, and I bought in, and it's been doing me justice this whole time.
Yeah, man. So. Talk about, because your recruiting journey is obviously different than Bo's. Bo's goes to Auburn for 4 years. You start off and go to Troy. Mm-hmm. Talk about your recruiting journey and getting to Troy. Were you tight that you weren't more recruited coming out of high school?
No, I was actually, I kind of like knew like towards the end of my senior year, like, all right, I'm a small guy, but like I can play. Like I knew colleges was not going to take chances on me. And Tennessee almost took a chance on me. Kentucky almost took a chance on me.
Damn, Jack. But he's our Tennessee guy.
He's a Tennessee guy?
He's a Tennessee guy.
I can't remember the coach. Was it Stoops or something? Or that's Kentucky?
That's Kentucky.
That's Kentucky. So
what year was this?
2020.
Who's the head coach 2020? Pruitt?
Pruitt. It was Pruitt. It was Jeremy Pruitt, and we was on the phone, and we was at Elite 11 in Tennessee, and we got on the phone with him. He was just asking, can I do punt returns or whatnot? He didn't take me. So I went to a camp in Kentucky with my Coach Hat, and they offered me at Kentucky, and they pulled it at the last second.
Is it because somebody else committed there?
Yep, somebody else committed there before me, and I wanted to commit. And I remember in the car, I was like, Dad, I just want to wait. My dad was like, you have to pick somewhere to go. It's up to you. Like, you can make your own choice, but you had to pick somewhere to go. And I knew Coach Lindsey very well. Like, Coach Lindsey, he was at Auburn for the first time. Like he was, like, when I knew him, he was at Auburn. And he was under Gus Malzahn. And he went to Troy. And I was like, okay, he called me one day. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, Coach, I'm eating dinner. Like, I'm just eating dinner with my family. He was like, go ahead and commit and come here and just ball out. I hung up the phone. I committed. Like, that's how well I knew Coach Lindsey. And he was an empty set. And I got there my freshman year. And he had a guy by the name of Rusty Witt in the weight room. And he literally, Rusty Witt put the foundation of me, like, for our strength. Like, people look at me now like I'm little, but you go into the weight room and I'm squatting 500 or I'm deadlifting.
You put 500?
I can put 4 or 5 on the bar. I over-exaggerate. I can put 4 or 5 on the
reps,
bar
though.
And rep it. And I can clean 295.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. You guys,
I believe you. I believe you. I would think you're just gonna lie.
He put the foundation for our strength on me.
He's letting motherfuckers know. Like, anybody listen, I squat 500. I'm
like,
cleaning 295.
Like, don't get it twisted. I can do something in the weight room. It's just like, and like when I entered college and Bo went to Auburn, I wasn't necessarily like thinking like, okay, I'm gonna meet back up with him again. My always thought process was, all right, I'm gonna go to Troy and I'm finna show everybody like I'm supposed to be at a big college. And my dad supported me, like, kudos to my dad. He kept me in a state mentally to where like I've never went into like a shell and like realized, do I belong? Like I went in there confident as a freshman thinking like I'm a senior, like this is my spot, this is where I belong, this is where I stay. And he, like, gosh, he just made me so much better. Like he don't know how.
Never let you feed into your doubts.
Like, you know, like, cause not saying there wasn't doubts there, but he took my mind completely away from it. Like, I went there and I was behind Kalen Geiger and a guy named Trey, I forgot his last name. But they was really good. Kalen Geiger, he transferred to Texas Tech, and I got the opportunity to play. And ever since then, the ball started coming to me, and like the quarterback knew, like, I'm the type of guy, like, I'm gonna know my quarterback before they learned out who I am.
Yeah.
Like, if his arm is like not big as what they supposed to be, I'm not gonna run my fastest on the deep ball because it's gonna be underthrown.
Right.
So I'm gonna make it look like it's on the money and catch it over my shoulder. And little do they know, like, those are the little things I took pride in. Like, I don't care who the quarterback is and like who you was. Like, that's just me. I'm gonna know you before you know me. You gonna know I can run a route. You gonna know that I can catch a football because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. But like, it's the little things for me for a quarterback.
Did you always think about using Troy to get to the next thing? It's probably like yes and no, and maybe even the coaches at Troy would think the same thing. Like, I feel like when I talk to coaches that I know now that I might have, had at Nebraska that are at a smaller school, and the way that they recruit, they'll be like, hey, come here for a couple of years. You can now hit the portal. Like, just use us to get to the next thing.
Like, it wasn't necessarily that. I didn't know about PFF throughout my whole college career until that last 2 years at Troy. Like, I didn't know about any of that stuff. Like, they used to be like, PFF, hey, you rank number 1 or you number 2 behind Marvin Harrison. I'm like, bro, what is that? Like, what is PFF? They were like, that's player football focus. Like, you don't know what that is? I'm like, no. I never really, like, I'm not into the, like, media and, like, just, like, going out there and just, like, looking at me like, where am I ranked? Like, number 5? Oh, let's try to get number 1. No, I wasn't. I was just out there playing. And little did they know, like, I was at Troy with Oregon gloves on. Like I got a picture with me with Oregon gloves on in a Troy uniform. Like, that's how bad I loved Oregon. Like, I wanted to go to Oregon this whole time, like, throughout my whole life. Everybody know I'm an Oregon fan. Like, my family, my oldest brother, like, my biological oldest brother's an Auburn fan. My youngest brother is an Ohio State fan. I don't know if he come to the game. I'm sorry. But, like, and I'm an Oregon fan. Me and my stepdad is an Oregon fan.
What got you on Oregon? Wasn't your stepdad
Thomas
showed you a game or something like that?
Like my stepdad used to come in, like, after work. Because, Oregon down south, they come on later.
Right.
So I used to sneak up late and watch the games after my mom tells us to go to bed for school and watch Oregon. And Dillon Thomas, oh, man, like, he was a little guy, and I was a little guy too, but I didn't know about weighting and stuff like that. But he was doing stuff out there. I used to go try out against, like, my homeboys outside. And I knew you just never get tackled. Never get tackled. Until, like, I'm so tired, I'm going to just get a ball up. Like, okay, you can have the ball. But I used to mimic Farrell Brown, Dillon Thomas, like, all those guys. Like, I used to just go out there and try to mimic. And then my stepdad was like, hey, look at this jersey they got on this week. Or they'll come out here with this jersey. I'm like, oh, my goodness. Like, now, like, when I was a young age, it was like Dillon Thomas and the jerseys. Like, okay, I want to go there. Like, every day I used to beg for, like, a Oregon hoodie. Like, an Oregon hoodie I used to just beg for. And I finally got one when I was, like, going through, like, I was leaving middle school. I got an Oregon hoodie. I never took it off. Like, I never took it off. I don't even think I washed that thing, which is disgusting. I don't even think I used to wash that thing. Like, I used to, like, just wear it. Like, they know, like, everybody who knows me from knee high on to now, they know I'm an Oregon fan. I'm a diehard Oregon fan. Like, and
they probably watch you like, this man's legitimately living out his dream.
Living it. And then it's so real to me because when I entered the portal, I'm like, okay, like, you can see my comments, it got duck emojis. And I'm like, okay, maybe it can happen. Not even seeing signs. I'm thinking of, like, I text Bo and I'm like, hey, Bo, you think Oregon will take me? This is him joking. I tell the story every time because it's so funny to me. This is around Christmas time. Like, I text him, I'm like, hey, Bo, you think Oregon will take me? He texts me, nah, probably not. Like, he crushed my dreams. I'm like, okay. Crushing, now I'm thinking,
like,
low.
Oh, you can't put in a good
right?
word, bro.
Okay, you supposed to be brothers, but
yeah.
like, but now I'm thinking low, like Memphis, like, just lower schools. I can just stay down south, and I kid you not, like, the next day when my name officially entered the portal, I get a missed call from my mom, like 2 of them, and I got 13 or 12 missed calls, and it's all from, like, Big Ten schools, Big Ten and Pac-12, but it's not one of them from Oregon. I think the first one called me was
Nebraska?
Nah, not Nebraska. I'm gonna say Wisconsin. Wisconsin called me. That's the first call I really answered. Then they offered me, then Penn State, then Oklahoma State, But then it started rolling UCLA. I'm like, all right, now it's starting to roll. My mom was like, hey, you need to pick up the phone. Did you put my number on the transfer? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I didn't really know. I just signed the paper. Like I'm like at this point, like I fulfilled, like I'm into it. Like I was so scared entering. I text my dad. I'm like, Dad, I'm really scared. He was like, just pray on it. And I prayed, entered.
What made you scared to enter the portal? The fact that you're leaving Troy and letting people down, or like, damn, is anybody gonna want me?
That both of them. Like so, when I leave in Troy, like Troy fan base, like I love Troy. Troy supported me in so many ways. It was unreal. Every time I go back down south, I go to Troy just because the people, they supported me so much throughout thick and thin. Because the first half of the season, that last year I was there, I was hurt, separated my clavicle, and it was just all bad. And then I came back, App State. We lost on College game day. No one talked about it, but I came back but we won a championship there, and the support from the Troy fans was unreal. The student section is unreal. But I just felt like I fulfilled my destiny. And I was kind of scared of leaving them. And then I was like, okay, now who's going to take me? Now I'm going through this process. I think I'm going through this process again of like, who's going to take me? I'm still a little guy, but because at Troy, I'm going to put it out there. At Troy, I was 145 playing soaking wet. Like I got there at 135 playing as a true freshman. Like I'm just out there running, scared and like,
Trying not to get hit.
Yeah, just trying not to get hit. Yeah. Still trying to not to get hit. Don't get me wrong. Still trying not to get hit. But I'm still a little guy out there running around. But I was just scared of just leaving and nobody to take me and going through that process again. Now I'm just back to square one.
Right.
But then again, now we at the dinner table. Bo comes in the house with a bag, but he won't let me see it. And I get a call from Coach Junior Adams. And I think it's a Cali area code. I want to say it's a Cali area code. And I'm answering the phone. I'm like, hello. Like Norman, hello. I'm thinking it's like who I'm thinking it is. I forgot who I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it's Texas A&M because they just follow me on Twitter. So I'm like, all right, Texas A&M for the offer me. So he called me. But it's a Cali area code. I should have known like that's not Texas A&M. I should have known that. So I answered and he was like, hey, this is Junior Adams from Oregon. And I was like, what? I paused. He's talking to my ear, but I'm looking at my mom like, it's Oregon. Like, Mom, this is so real. They on the phone. And he was like, we want to offer you a scholarship, but this is something you want to do? I said, Coach, I'm committed. Like, that's the next words out of my mouth. Like, I don't care who else offered me after this. I'm committed. I'm going to Oregon. Like, I don't care how far away it is. It could have been in somewhere else down farther than where it is now. But I'm going to Oregon. I'm going up there. And by this time, I didn't know Bo was staying. I'm thinking he's leaving to the NFL. Yeah. I'm still, not in my head, I'm still thinking like, okay, I'm going up there by myself all alone. And then the video comes out, he's back. I'm like, oh, now the world finna know. Like, this is finna be crazy. Yeah. Because us together is oh my goodness, that's like putting jumper cables on the wrong way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like me and Bo together is something serious. Like, and just being able to get to Oregon with him again, and was like, and breaking records again, not knowing I was on the road to breaking a record anyway, because he always kept my mind away from everything. And he still do. He'll text me every other day and be like, hey, you suck.
Just let you know you ain't him.
Yeah, you not him. Like, like you just, and that's his way of saying stay humble, don't feed into the media. And I still thank him of that. But as soon as I committed, he come out with a Oregon shirt, 2 gloves, and some shorts. I'm like, you knew the whole time. Like, you knew the whole time. You could have told me so my hopes wouldn't get up or something. Like, right. You could have told me. I was just waiting on it. Like, I'm sitting there like, my dreams are crushed. I'm never going to Oregon. And then I get the phone call. He got the gloves for me. It was the little pink breast cancer gloves they wore from UCLA. Yeah. Now it's time to, now I'm finna put some drip on. And I'm the best dripper in college. I can tell you that right now.
You number one?
Number one. I don't care what no one
says. Is there
a
close second? Who's out there whose game you respect?
Whose game I respect? Yeah. Just hands down, like, if I turn on the film, who the guy I want to watch, hands down.
Drip.
Drip-wise?
Yes,
drip-wise.
Tank Dell. Tank Dell?
Tank Dell.
Okay.
Tank Dell got some drip on him. Stephon Diggs do. But
you're number one in college.
Oh, yeah, I'm number one.
There's nobody you see in college that kind of competes.
Nobody else in college. You can go to my profile. You can see, like, I got that drip on. Everything color coordinated, but I'm going to offset it with the mouthpiece. I'm going to mess them up with the mouthpiece. Okay. I'm going to tell them. Every time I'm going to do something totally different, something you think you saw, but it's different. Okay. You can be like, oh, no, wait. Now he got the spat on the one time. I may need to do that. Nah, you can't do that. You can't. You just gotta put a little splat on it. You can't do too much. Can't do too much, but you can do it though.
Yo, he's electric, bro. He's electric. Dude, could it, outside of obviously you want to win the Pac-12 title, and outside of your 2 losses, could it have went any better for you this year?
Nah.
I mean, record in what, receptions? 3rd most yards in a single season? And you're growing up loving DeAnthony Thomas. Like, you're mimicking these guys. And now you hold a record. Like, could it have worked out any better for you?
Right. It's so real. Me actually going out here and racing DeAnthony Thomas and beating him was so real for me. Like, he got out here in the lineup and we off the line I got him. I'm like, yeah, he probably just old right now. His knees ain't working. Yeah, he lost a little step in him. I'm still a little young guy. But no, it's so real. Like, it couldn't go any better way than what it is. God writes a story in so many ways. And every day I remind myself to live in his presence and give thanks to him because it's only possible because of him. So me setting the record was because I feel like that's...
Bo's the quarterback. Your brother, you got your brother. You got your brother back in the pocket. Hey, Bo, you know I'm close to this reception record now.
It was just one of them things. Like, one of my teammate, my receiver room is so supportive of me. Troy Franklin, Coach Adams, they taught me so much as far as coverages and knowing who can guard you, who can't guard you, which nobody can guard me. Not on the big head stuff, but like that's how I carry myself every day. But just knowing like who's gonna be out there guarding you on this play, who's gonna be Seahawk double teaming you on this play, knowing how to beat it. Like, Troy Franklin taught me so much in his years here. It's so real. But we're gonna get Washington back. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Last game of the season, see you tonight. We got something coming for y'all.
Yeah, what can we expect this upcoming season?
Generational old. I'm telling you right now, nobody in the country got the stuff like Oregon. Nobody. We touch it first and y'all get it right after us. That's what y'all gonna get it right after us. Every time we touch it first, every time you see something new, we touched it first way before it even hit the net. So
yo, he's a juicy. How about so you had Bo last year, you have Dillon Gabriel this year. What have you seen so far out of him?
Dillon Gabriel.
You take a lot of pride in knowing the quarterback before they know you. Like, what have you seen?
He's electric. He's more of a receiver type of mindset guy. Like, I say that because he talks trash. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, oh, okay. He threw a whole shot completed. You like that, huh? Okay. Like, let's do it. Like, he's a good quarterback. He's smart. He love to compete. That's one thing I see from, like, Bo's a silent assassin.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he gonna pick you apart and, like, you gonna have to respect him at the end of the game. Like, you gonna walk up to him, shake his hand and be like, oh, you good. Dillon gonna let you know he's good while he throwing that ball. Like, all right, he go ball lefty, that's a dot. Yeah, here you go. Like, let's keep it rolling. Like, Dillon's a guy, he's really good. He's goofy, bro. Like, he's in the locker room. The difference between them, like, Bo is like I said, he's a pro. Like, you'll see him 1-2 times, like in the locker room, and he'll crack jokes and then get out and then get to his means.
Doing his thing.
Dillon, he's one of the bros. Like, he gonna be in there, he gonna get everything done early, then chill with us in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanna be a part of the team, which, not saying that Bo don't wanna be a part of the team. Like, he was way a part of the team. He always said something to us.
Different personalities.
Yeah, it's just different. Like, we see Dillon in the locker room every day. He come in there, he'll yell, just for no reason. He be like, oh, here you go. Oh, here you go. And he carries that to the field.
Yeah.
And he sways the drippiest quarterback in college, but I don't think so right now. He got to put something on. Like, he got some tattoos. The tattoos make up for it, you know what I'm saying? But he got to put something on, though. You got
to get him right?
Now, I don't think I can get him right, though. I think it's the helmet, bro. His device is fat, and his head already, like, wide. So you got to, like, it's compact.
Do you try to put him on game? Like, do you try and help him out?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's all you need. You need a teammate to come up to you and kind of instill that confidence. Like, hey, you know it's okay if you do this.
See, he do the opposite. See, I'm going to cover my whole left side. He going to cover this leg and this arm. Like, he gonna do an opposite alternate. I'm going to keep it the same side, keep it simple. Don't touch this side. Like, he's drip, though. He got a little drip.
Any white boys with some swag on the team?
T. Ferg, Terrence Ferguson, he got some drip.
Is that natural? Or y'all have to help him out.
No,
like
T
myself,
Ferg.
it'd be like, hey, Kyle, we can't let you walking out there like that.
No, you
We
got the
gotta change
newbies
it
on.
up.
I'm messing with the newbies. You got the newbies on. The 5'6".
JP's sick.
He got the newbies. I got them at the crib right now. He got the newbies on. I like them right there. I got a lot of newbies. I got a newbie collection.
Just start fucking showing it off. JP was hating on him yesterday in the airport.
Oh,
hating on him, bro.
Come on, you can't hate on the newbies, bro. The newbies good. But no, Kyler Casper got some drip too.
What you think of his shoes? Show him, JP.
Them Adidas? Nah, we can't mess with them. we had Nike headquarters almost, basically with those. So I mean, yeah, T Ferg got some drip on them. Who else? You got Kyler Casper. Kyler Casper got some drip, but he's just tall. He got tattoos, so it just looked good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He looked like what's his name from Ricky Pearsall from Florida. That's what he looked like.
Yeah. I mean, with Taylor, who's not here, I mean, he's tatted everywhere. Big white boy, yes, goodness. Everywhere. Whole body.
Whole body?
Leg. Yeah.
My boy Bucky was a dripper too, though. Bucky Irvin? Okay,
Bucky.
My boy
Bucky.
Bucky put some drip on. Bucky will put everything on, but his cleat game is going to be crazy. And then outside of that, he's going to be so simple, wear a sweatsuit, but his shoe game, you're going to have to look and be like, oh, them Dior's. Oh, them Balenci's? Like you gonna be like, oh, okay, now he gonna offset you with something. Like it's gonna be crazy. That's all you need, a little simple, but something crazy at the end.
Some subtle.
Yeah.
Your favorite purchase, we're now in the NIL generation. What's been your favorite purchase so far?
My favorite purchase.
Because you get to the NFL, they talk about your first paycheck. What's the first thing you bought? What's the favorite thing you've done?
My favorite purchase. I got two. I ain't gonna lie. I got two. I got a Rolex bust down and a Cartier. Watch, bro. I ain't gonna. I got that, and I got my chain, the Tasmania chain with my area code hooked up to it. So like, I mean, I got.
You come correct.
Yeah, I gotta come correct. I step simple though. If I wear a chain, I'm not wearing a watch. If I wear a watch, I might bust the chain just in case I got the suit on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Depends on the night?
Yeah, depends on the night. Shake somebody's hand, it pops out and the light hit it. You might see some VVS's in your eye. My bad, I'm sorry. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty, them three right there. I got three, my bad, not just one.
Okay.
But I'm chilling right now. No, I'm cooling until the season come, and then when the season come,
jump off.
I jump off. Or I might cool during the season, get the drive day, and then set it off. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I just got something.
What's been your favorite part about playing for Coach Lanning?
The consistent challenge he gives us. Like, it's every day we got a new challenge. Okay, he challenged us. He challenged us every single day. Like, all right, he'll challenge you one day and say, "Hey man, we got to finish strong," and then the next day, everything we got to be fast. Like, all right, like some days he'll switch up practice on like completely different. Like we'll see the schedule, but we'll go out there and have, like say for instance, my bracket on here, but no, next thing you know, we'll go out there and go straight to mama drill like we did today. Like everybody know, like my bracket, that's hitting. Like we got to go out there and hit. Like you got to block something, and yeah, that's DNs, linebackers. You getting the whole nine. But
you blocking linebackers?
It depends on what play, brother. It depends on what play it is. Like, it depends on. It depends on what play, bro. Yeah, I got a little better this year though. Last year I was kind of hesitant. I wasn't, but now I can stick my nose in there. I catch them off guard. Like, I got to go in there quick and just let them know I'm there, and then like try to hold them up. But once they know it's me on them, then they'll just take me and be like, "Oh, I'll move." I'll be like, okay. Like, you know, I mean, I'm honest.
Just getting their way long enough.
Yeah, getting their way long enough, you hit the perimeter. You can't get there now, but I mean, I did my job. So, I mean, He just challenged us, like, just being the best version of ourselves every day. Like, he's tough. You gonna see it, like us as an offense, if we killing this defense, he's a defensive coach. I'm gonna say, if we killing this defense, you can look back at him, he get mad, like, okay, you think they finna do this again? Like, the next day, that same play we try to run is boxed up. She be like, all right, he just script that.
Scripted,
we look back and be like,
way.
you script that, and he back there all like, yeah, nah. Now we finna go over there and tell Coach Stein, hey, no, let's call this, because we know he finna play Seahawk here. Okay, we finna run past him, and he gonna get livid. But it feel like the players, like on offense, play against Coach Lanning. Because, like, you know, like he can call it. Coach Taj over there calling, like, we playing against them.
Right.
Also, we playing against the player, but, like, his creativeness on defense is so real. Like, he'll show you one coverage, then it's a whole different coverage. Every time we check, they check. And if we don't check, they still checking. Like, they gonna key, like, say for instance, I'm in motion, they gonna key me the whole time. Either they gonna bump it or push it. Like, they gonna show something. They gonna show like they finna drop 8, but bring 3 people that we can't even block. Like,
yeah.
And now it's a sack. Now we gonna look back and be like, where you get that from, bro? like, is that even real? Like
right.
it's stuff like that. But he's a consistent, like, challenger. Like, he gonna challenge you with everything. And he don't care how big the challenge is. Let's see if you can do it. You wanna say you wanna get here? All right, let's see what you got, what it takes to be there. Like, so that's what we like about him.
Tez, bro, thank you for this conversation. This was
sure,
a lot of fun. You brought a lot of good energy, a lot of good juice to the conversation. But I appreciate it, bro. And I appreciate you sharing the stuff in the beginning. And it's really cool to see where you're at now. And all the luck to you this year, bro.
Thank you, man.
Hope you guys do well, unless you play Nebraska.
I hope we play Nebraska just for him.
Dillon Gabriel, bro. First question. Getting permission to wear number 8.
Yep.
Was that a conversation with Marcus? I played with Marcus for a year in Tennessee and then a year in Vegas. He put us on.
DeMarco Murray as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was after DeMarco.
Oh, after, okay.
He put us on Sushi Pure last night for a spot to eat. As he said that was his favorite. Marcus said that was his favorite spot. But what was it like?
Purple rice.
Yeah.
Purple rice. It's a real deal.
Getting permission from him to wear number 8, was that an ordeal, or was that just a simple conversation?
It was an ordeal. I think it was just more out of respect. Coming from the islands, like, he's the guy we, kind of looked up to, and he kind of set the stage for all the quarterbacks coming up. Not only quarterbacks, players in general. I wore 8 at Oklahoma, but once I came here, I kind of told coach, I was like, hey, out of respect, I'll probably wear, a new number or something like that. And then, I don't know, just kind of rethought it. Coach Lanning said something cool about how special that would be, and ended up texting him. And then next thing you know, just said, hey, could I wear it? Want to get his okay. And then once I did, it's special. So.
He was like, Marcus was the guy, I bet, when you're coming up watching him play at Oregon. Yeah,
huge.
You had him, you had Teo.
Yep, we had Manti, him, DeForest Buckner, who played here. Kind of a lot. Even, Hawaii guys as well, kind of who we, looked up at UH. But all in all, Marcus was definitely the, head honcho. So
take us through your recruiting journey. You've obviously had a fascinating one. You've bounced around. I want to say I was reading when were you committed to Army?
I was.
Committed to Army, go visit somewhere else, decommit. You visit a couple schools, I think bigger schools, and then end up at UCF.
Yep.
Talk about your recruiting journey coming out of high school.
Yeah, so coming out, I didn't have anything really. I had the 3 academies and University of Hawaii. Just wanted to, try something new and go off the island. So funny enough, Jeff Monken, who's the head coach at Army and who still is, was my dad's GA at the University of Hawaii when he was playing quarterback. Coach Kenny Niumatalolo was my dad's backup, and Paul Johnson was my dad's OC. So the triple option, my dad was all around it. But that connection kind of happened. I visited Army, ended up committing in the summer prior to my senior year. Then kind of season went on. I love this story, but I remember watching the game in Army only threw it 3 times. And I just, looked at my dad and I was like, man, I think I really want to throw the ball and play ball a different way. So ended up, decommitting, kind of like, towards the back end of my senior year of high school. And then, oddly enough, things just started firing off. And everyone jokes around. They think it's because there's a passing record in Hawaii and I end up beating Tua. And Georgia obviously was playing Bama. And another full circle moment, Coach Lanning was at Georgia. But Georgia offered me UCF and USC. And kind of went on those 3 visits right before that December signing day. And all 3 of them said, hey, you got to be here in January. And I really wasn't prepared for that. So I ended up taking, 4 online classes within a 2-week period, signed with UCF, and then I was there on January 3rd. So it all happened really fast. I'm blessed and very happy it did, but definitely a funny time in my life.
Yeah. Was there friction when you were decommitting from Army with your old man?
There wasn't. You know, they're family, and they always will be. You know, just with that connection with my dad, and then Coach Sean Saturnio. He's another guy that, you know, I still keep in contact with, who's just been, you know, really that guy who's also come from Hawaii and tries to look out for Hawaii players. So when I had that, I was, you know, not bugged at all. They're very kind, and obviously knew that, you know, I was going to go play at a different school.
Why UCF over Georgia and USC?
At the time, I just wanted to play. You know, I've always kind of put that at the forefront of what I want to do. I want to go play the game. That's what I love to do. And, you know, not saying I couldn't have played at Georgia or USC. It's just at the time UCF was having open competition. And I was like, hey, as long as I got a shot or a chance, like an opportunity, then I'm going to go make it happen. And at the time, Justin Fields and Jake Fromm were still at Georgia. JT Daniels was still a freshman at USC. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm just saying that was at the time. And, you know, I looked at, you know, at UCF, my buddy Mackenzie Milton was injured that year. And they said, you know, there's open competition. So I was like, let's go do it.
Yeah. You had a couple good years at UCF. Were you injured?
I did my third year.
Your third year before you hit the portal, right?
Yep. I got injured that third game against Louisville.
Talk about that. Was there a lot of doubt creeping in on coming back from the injury, being able to, you know, move on, put another season together?
Yeah, I think it was my first injury in college, real injury. Like I had fractured my collarbone, which I'd done in high school. You know, kind of one of those lizard deals where you just kind of let it heal back up and then, you know, get the strength back. But I think at the time I was so, you know, fixated and set on, you know, maybe this could be the year to, you know, go and do it, right? And I think God has a great way of kind of keeping you present and humbling you, but also just kind of the storm I needed right in that time period of my life. And I think it changed the trajectory of my life as well. You know, just seeing life in a different perspective, you know, being sidelined for the first time and in my career, you know, playing as a freshman in high school on varsity, playing all 4 years, and then end up starting again at UCF as a freshman. So that third year, I feel like just gave me a different perspective and really changed my outlook on just being a good teammate in a different way. And I think that's helped me, you know, all up until this point.
When did you know you were going to hit the portal?
I had a clue kind of like that last 2 weeks of the season. You know, when I got injured, I was just focused on getting healthy and trying to get strength back. And then I remember talking with my family, like, hey, what are we going to do? You know, like, what's kind of the next step? And I hadn't really thought about it. And just as that season went on, I just felt like, you know, I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to try something new and be in an offense that could potentially push me to continue to get better.
How'd Oklahoma grab you?
Another crazy story. So, yeah, definitely recruiting stories. I've got a bunch of them. But coming out of UCF, when I was transferring, I visited Ole Miss, where my OC, prior OC at UCF, Coach Levy, was at. He went to Ole Miss after my first year at UCF. Then after that visit, I felt like I was going to go to Ole Miss, but Coach Levy ended up going to Oklahoma. When that happened, took a visit to UCLA, and at the time really loved it, you know, and wanted to make it happen. So I ended up pulling the trigger and committing to UCLA. As that time went on,
Gets himself in the situations.
as that time went on, though, we just had conversations, and I just really wanted to know what I was walking into, not knowing if DTR was coming back or not. You know, the quarterback room kind of had like a kind of unknown. And, you know, I was telling Coach, hey, I just want to know what's kind of going on, what I'm walking into. They couldn't clarify that and, you know, kind of keep it upfront and honest, which is totally fine. I just, you know, kind of...
You wanted some more clarity.
More clarity, yeah. and kind of just know what you're walking into. I think that is not much to ask, but kind of up until that last date, January 3rd is when school started, and I was supposed to be on a flight. Coach Levy ended up calling me January 2nd and just said, Boomer, and I'm like, what do you mean, Coach? You know, and I don't know, after that, I ended up not taking the flight, not jumping into class, and then I was a Sooner. So
he was a Sooner. So. Is that coach still there?
He is not now. He's at the head coach at Mississippi State.
Okay. Is that the reason you jumped in the portal again and you end up here?
It is.
Talk about that recruiting story.
So another time, I think, just God has been able to keep me present is I was, again, fixated on the NFL, and like this is my last year. I had a very, I guess, clear vision of what I was going to do. But
you're saying play at Oklahoma for a year and then go to the next level. Okay.
Yes. And when that happened, I think everyone was under the same impression, right? The school, players, coaches, all that. So the preparation prior to that, I think, was the same for everyone. So going into that season, I felt like, we were doing damn good. We had 2 bumps in the road that definitely, affected us, for the college football playoffs. But up into that last 2 games, again, where kind of conversations start to happen, I got my draft grade back, which was 7th round undrafted. And I was like, dang, I felt like in all, categories of whatever quarterback play it could be, I felt like I was top 5. And I guess that's what I was presented. And when I got that, 7th round undrafted, I was like, I couldn't sleep at night knowing I had an extra year that I could maximize and get better and have a guaranteed year of football, right? And I don't want to say guaranteed, but at least another year to play. And I just wanted to maximize that. And like I said, with everyone having that preparation of me not being back there for another year, I just felt like it was right and something that, I was excited about. Transferring is not easy, but it's just kind of how my journey went.
And do you, with Coach going to Mississippi State, was that, if he had stayed, would you say that you'd still be at Oklahoma? Or everything was just kind of like you were saying, the preparation was around you leaving, so it almost just felt like the end of the chapter anyway?
I think it was a mixture.
Okay.
I think it was a mixture. I guess we'll never know, right, if he did stay. But, I think it was the perfect storm of where I needed to be. And, the path that God has set out for me, I just trusted it. And, I'm here now, and shoot, it's a big blessing. So.
How was the psyche when you get the draft grade of 7th undrafted? Because I'm assuming, you're excited about something, you're preparing for something, and then to see something that's kind of like below what you thought it might be. Like, take us through those moments.
I mean, I understand it. It's the facts. So I'm not going to, when I'm presented that, I feel like, that's just what it is, right?
Right.
And whether I like it or not, that's the facts. And, I had to live with it and make a decision based off of that. And it's not the best feeling. I think when as a player, you produce and, put your play on the field, I feel like your confidence and what you put out there is something that you are proud of, and want to, or not proud of, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, when I got that back, it was disappointing, but also I went straight to making a decision and live with it.
How'd you identify Oregon as being the right place for you?
3 things, offensive fit, guys around me, and then just being able to win. I want to be in the big games, big time moments. And at this point in my career, I just feel like winning's everything. That's all I want. How can I serve my teammates in the best way and lead and bring, that positive energy every day, and I feel like everything we have here is top notch.
Right.
And,
living
off the land.
Some nice facilities.
Yeah, living off the land is real.
Yeah.
And then talent isn't, our issue. It's going to be putting it all together and seeing, how well we can connect and execute at a high level. I think every team that's done it and won has done those 2 things.
How you feel coming in after Bo Nix?
I feel good.
Successing him.
Yeah, I watched, him play a bunch, and I think, as seasons go on, you definitely are able to see, quarterbacks playing at a high level, and, knew Bo was doing that. And I think that's what made Oregon such an attractive place is just how they let the quarterback go play, the types of throws you're able to make. And then also, seeing, obviously when there's success at a program, that it takes a bunch of people. As a quarterback, you understand that. And what he's been able to do is super impressive.
Talking about the portal gets such like a different mix of reviews, right? Good, bad, whatever opinions are out there. You seem to use the portal well to your advantage. What do you feel like you've learned, or what experience you've acquired just being able to go to different spots? You grow up in Hawaii, you go to UCF, then you go to the middle of America in Oklahoma. Now you're all the way up in the top corner to Oregon. What do you feel like you've learned with the portal and what it's taught you?
I've learned change is hard, but it can be really good for you. Being uncomfortable is the only way to create growth. And I've also learned that, you know, doing it for the right reason. You know, I feel like I've seen it go both ways. I'm very blessed. Like I said, I trusted my heart, trusted people. And that kind of has led me to be around programs that have been successful, but also can reproduce that consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I just trusted it. You know, I trusted my decision and kind of just was where my feet, you know, were. And, you know, that's why I'm so, you know, focused on right now and where I'm at. And yeah, it's interesting though. You know, as a guy who's
you were kind of part of the first wave too of it all.
I am. I joke around. I was a COVID baby. I was a NIL baby, a transfer portal baby. So I've seen it all. But I think I've just adapted and accepted the fact of this is what it is. But also, there's beauty in both sides of everything. You know, of any, you know, good and bad. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think just because it's new, that's why it's hard to accept. Right, like free agency in the NFL. I think NFL fans are a lot more used to change, new quarterbacks, new players, new coaches. You know,
Players
new coaches
not to return. It's business, yeah.
And that's what's hard too. Is college football is so
the school spirit, man. Yeah,
school spirit, authentic, and I still believe it still is. I just think it's so new. I think 10 to 15 years from now, we'll be a lot more used to it, and
mm-hmm.
just how coaches leave. You know, there's happy fans, there's mad fans, but at the end of the day, someone new will be in there, and they'll end up liking it or not, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. With all the experience you feel like you've acquired and like wisdom you've gained from it, is there anything you look back on that you would have done differently?
That's a great question.
And maybe, like, obviously you're here, so the
Yeah.
answer would be no, right? But is there
Yeah.
stuff you look back, you're like, oh, that was a learning lesson there?
I do. I think a lot is in football and trying to get better. I think situational football is something that I wish as a young quarterback I really focused on and understood. I sometimes wish that my approach at a younger age was to listen to the words rather than the tone, right? And passion is huge in football, but how do you listen to the message and be coachable and understand that while, like I said, emotions are flying, right?
Yeah.
I think as I've gotten older, I've, you know, been able to just cut that out.
Compartmentalize a little bit better.
Exactly, and just, you know, stay even kill.
Not be pissed when a coach is getting in your ass.
That's for sure. And play each play individually. You know, I think that's something that a lot of people struggle to do, is do the easy things really at an elite level. And that's what I strive to do. You know, execute at a high level, play each play individually, and then just try to win every rep. Because, you know, if you look at it like that, it'll hopefully be a good part at the end, you know, hopefully ending in a touchdown. But I just try to do that. It's easy to say, hard to do. But.
Right. Always a work in progress. What have you enjoyed most about Coach Lanning and this coaching staff since coming here?
It's been refreshing. I think a young coach who gets it and is challenging us, but also not demeaning. Not saying I've had that experience in my time.
I feel like any player, like I've had coaches that, hey, you kind of fucked me up a little bit mentally with some of these comments.
For sure. I think it's just been refreshing. You know, I think he's very innovative in the way he thinks, whether it's scheme or even just in how we practice, what we do, how we do what we do. I think that's very important because a lot of people are doing the same things, but trying to find your edge. And I think that he's done a really good job of that just within my 4 months of being here. So
he seems fiery, bro. He's just got that passion that He just his
I don't want to
energy-
swear, but he's got some shit to him.
Yeah,
know?
he's
And
got some shit to him.
you gotta enjoy that, and having a coach that's willing to get in there with you, whether it's running, lifting, like he's sweating at practice, he's in it. I feel like that is a empowering feeling, knowing that your coach is being a part of what you're doing, and not having levels.
Right.
To a hierarchy, I guess.
Right, like talking down to players, whatever it is, they're in it with you.
For sure.
We had Tez on. Tez was saying he's the drippiest athlete in the game. And he also alluded to our quarterback thinks he's drippy, but he's not.
Oh, gosh.
Do you have you care to comment on his comments?
I would beg to disagree with him. He's a one sleeve. What he does is, I think, very basic. He executes it at a high level. That's what I'll give him, right? So he's got the one leg sleeve. He'll go white, black, green, yellow. So he mixes it up. He does the arm sleeve as well on the same side. I'd love to see some alternatives of, one each side, maybe a sleeve on the left, sleeve on the right.
That's
leg.
what he said too. He said, I like to go all one side. He said,
and then
he said he'll be on opposite.
Did you say it's because of the tattoos?
He showed us his Instagram after talking about, I went it this way so you can see my tattoos on the right leg.
He'll change the visors. He does gloves. He does different cleats. But to me, I feel like swag is more of an energy. It's more of a vibe, right? Like there's something to, a guy that doesn't really wear much and can, rock out. But there's also something to being able to swag out at a high level. But I would just say his competition's really not that much on our team in the receiver room. I say that because it's either, what can you really do? Leggings, maybe some arm sleeves.
Right.
You can mix match, some gloves, but I think it's execution.
He's talking mouthpiece. He's like, hey, this is visor pregame. I take the visor off for the game.
Does he do that?
He's like, so you can see the color of my mouthpiece? Yeah. He seems very calculated with his style.
I feel like that's too much.
He pours a lot into it.
I respect it, though. I respect it. I think what he executes at a high level, the leg sleeve, he doesn't mess it up. I give him that.
Yeah.
Good colors. He cuts the left leg.
Yeah.
So the tattoo's showing. Cleats are always at a high level, but up top, I feel like he could do better.
Yeah. All right, another question we asked him. One of the first questions that you get asked when you get in the NFL is like, what'd you do with your first paycheck? What was your first favorite purchase? Being in the NIL world, what's been he gave us 3 of his favorite purchases with the NIL era.
What was his chain, his watch, and his car?
Yeah, chain, watch, another watch.
Dude, I know.
What kind of car is he driving around?
I think it's a BMW.
Okay.
Yeah. Or no. I don't even want to say an AMG. I don't know. But I've seen him in one, so it might be a white AMG. But oh gosh, I don't know. He's been in 3 different cars since I've been here. So,
he got the cameras.
Here's my thing though. In the
NFL,
do they judge for you leasing a car? Do they judge? How does that work in the NFL? Like, if he's leasing it, what if he's renting the car for like a month?
Yeah, if you're in with a dealership, like you're in a different ball game.
For sure.
You're in a
Do you know what I drive?
Great spot. Do what?
Do you know what I drive?
No.
Nobody's told you?
What do you drive?
Chrysler white minivan.
Nice.
Automatic doors. 2 touchscreens.
Got some Kirk Cousins to him. Kirk drove this abysmal van around. He might still, but for the 5 years I was in
Good insurance, super efficient. It's hybrid. So just in case I do miss out on gas, I got electricity.
It's hybrid.
And then it can fit 7 people. 8 if you want to use that middle side. Like, I mean, that's illegal, but.
But if you get in a pinch, you need 8.
You got to make it happen.
Yeah, you can make it happen.
You can make it around the street.
Would you say your minivan's your favorite purchase?
I would say
you got
so.
some nice looking earrings in right now.
Oh, dude, you guys are gonna beat me up about the earrings, dude.
No, I'm just saying. I know
Amazon, $15.99. I got a 20-pack.
Yeah, you got the Chad.
Chain's
Ocho
real though.
Cinco
Chain's
pack.
real though. But yeah, the earrings are Amazon.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't judge.
Budget shopping on a budget. So favorite purchase.
Favorite purchase. King bed.
Nice.
I try to purchase things that you'll use every day. So like
King bed. Very heady purchase.
Huge. So, me and my girlfriend used to have a full bed. It was tough, but once we got the king bed, it's like she's on a whole nother island.
Yeah.
You know, and you get your space. So that was huge. Helps me with sleeping. And there's something to just being able to.
What brand?
Gosh,
What do we got?
I don't
We got
even
a sleep
know.
number?
It's not a sleep number, but I don't know. It's
It's
a
nice.
little fancy. It's a little fancy.
Hey, you sleep every night.
Tempur-Pedic neck pillow. Have you guys ever seen those?
Man, I don't mesh well with them. Just because I don't really stay in one spot. I start on my back. I go to my side.
You can turn on them, and it's still.
Maybe there's
I'll
some
send
new
you it
tech
on
out
Amazon.
there.
On my Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
I find everything, and then a couch.
Comfort.
It's like it is
things
huge.
you're gonna use every day. You
Yes.
seem to be a little.
Yes. And then let me give you a fun one. I didn't really buy anything crazy. A dog? Could I say a dog?
Yeah. What kind of dog?
Winston. He's a miniature schnauzer. He's golden. I can, I'll pull a Tez.
How much was the dog?
Oh, I don't want to say.
4.
I'm not even gonna, because people are gonna. That's a judgment.
I mean, yeah, you get a pure breed, man. You get him from a breeder too. Like,
Here's Winston.
oh, it's a cute little boy.
He's
You see Winston? That's a cute
10
little boy.
pounds.
That's a cute little
He's
boy
able
right
to
there.
travel.
Yeah.
We're teaching him how to stay so that when I throw, he can just be in the throwing sessions and.
Was he more than
Coach
3
him up.
grand?
Yeah, he was. He was. Gosh, I know.
That's all right. People love their animals, man.
I know.
I mean, we spent a few thousand on my English.
They'll change your
bulldog.
life, though.
He's changed my life for the worse, or she's changed my life for the worse. I'm just kidding. What happened is we had a kid. And she went down in the pecking order.
That's fair.
And they're just stubborn animals, bro. Like you can't get a bulldog to do nothing.
Sleep,
Yeah, sleep and their buttholes exposed, so they'll just fucking
fart.
they'll fart. But they got what's that? The little no, not that.
What about cherry eye? Does that happen?
Oh yes, yeah. Where they get a little fucking. She'll be like gnawing on something. Her eye will be like popping out. Will be hey, cut that shit out, dude.
It's real.
But it's like their anal glands. So like they got some seepage that comes out of their anal gland. All dogs have it,
On the couch?
but most have a tail. But since hers is exposed, sometimes it'll get on the furniture and you'll smell it. You'll just be in the worst mood, bro.
Dude. That's tough.
Yeah.
Humbling moment, though, wiping your dog's butt.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I would have to wipe her ass. I mean, every time she shit. But once we got on Farmer's Dog, and this is no free shout outs to Farmer's Dog. But once we got her on Farmer's Dog,
That's good.
Health. I'm talking. She
good.
lost weight, and
That's
she's a
good.
little athlete now. I mean, Gary, you guys saw her back when she was at her fattest.
Hopping up on the couch.
Getting patchy, like on the back. That she would like lose her hair and stuff, dander and shit, just from like eating the kibble. We get them on Farmer's Dog, which is like real food.
Dude, that's what you talk about, fueling your body with the right stuff.
Yeah. Got to feel that Ferrari, man.
It's
English
real.
Bulldog.
It's real.
Boys, we got anything else for Dillon?
Speaking about bodies, I got a question. How's
Okay.
your body after years in the NFL? Oh, dude.
This is what a post NFL body looks like.
I'm saying, is it like, do you wake up and you're like, do you feel better? Like,
I'll say this: I've had a lot of problems with my low back,
okay.
and this is nothing new to the audience watching right now. I've been vocal about it.
You think it's the squatting? What do you think? The heavy squats?
I don't squat anymore. I don't load my spine anymore. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it was like all the years of wear and tear doing that. I think at times like you'll sacrifice some form to be heavier on the weight. Like I look back on that and you want solid form because I do think back squatting is good for you. But where my back is at currently,
It's not.
it's not. I honestly, I don't think I can do that much.
Yeah.
Just because it hurts, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Like I'll go out on the golf course and I'll be on the couch for a week, just from torquing. Like I've been working on it. I'm seeing a doc right
What
now.
about knees? Knees? Shoulders?
Knees are okay. Knees,
Okay.
I'll get some inflammation every now. I tore my PCL, but I'll get some inflammation every now and then. But
Gotcha.
my knees are all right. I
Gotcha.
would say overall, I'm decent. I'm on the come up right now.
Gotcha.
Legit, I'm on the come up. I'm working with this doc right now. He's out of Brentwood.
I like that.
And he's got me going. He's got me doing some really good stuff for my low back.
Is
right
that
now.
the same for some of your peers that have played in the NFL?
There are some guys that are really healthy. There are some guys, but it's more like the bigger guys are kind of beat down a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a quarterback. I feel like you're gonna be. You get to wear the jersey at practice. Like you don't get touched.
That's what I was saying. Like in the spring, gosh, we like actually are able to like get healthy if you did have something.
Yeah.
And your body can get strong and I guess, not beat it up.
Yeah,
all
there are some things, but I don't know how familiar you are with Barstool. We had a combine recently,
Yep.
and if you watch the tape, I mean, it was a 35-yard dash. I ran a 3.6. So
fastest?
I'm still.
Was it the fastest?
Yeah.
Okay, how much did you weigh in the NFL, and then how much?
Low
you weigh now?
230s. Right now I'm 217.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So
Does it feel better?
does what, losing the weight?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel like I had to fluctuate that much. Like
Gotcha.
I would have to like keep weight on, but it didn't fluctuate for me that much.
Gotcha.
But this is kind of like, it feels a little more natural.
Yep.
I'm not working out as hard. That's the beautiful thing. Whenever you get done playing, you're kind of like, you wake up one morning, you're like, why am I doing all this hard ass shit? And then you just get to kind of take care of yourself a little bit
Chill
more.
a little bit.
Yeah. Go meet the right people.
Yep.
Maybe put a couple things in your body you should.
Do you have any secret sauce? Like, okay, on Mondays, this is what I used to do, or on, throughout your week. Like, is there any secret sauce to, like, in the NFL, you're like, this is my go-to. Like, for me, massages and ice tubs are like, I need it, But if you had any secret sauces, it could even be in the film room. It could be what were you like?
I could really put you on some game in the film room, but secret sauce, bro. I feel like I was one of those guys. I always did so much to where I didn't actually know what was helping me or not.
Yep.
Whether it be supplements, like food, massages, saunas, cryo, cold tub. Like you're like with a group of guys, right? Like I'm sure there's a couple guys like you rock with that are kind of more on your routine with things. Or there's a level you're like, oh, I kind of want to go hang with them because they're doing some things that I necessarily haven't done. Yep. And you kind of like have this little posse that rolls around. But we do so much stuff to where I don't necessarily know exactly what would help me out all the time. Like it's like, I'm sure you do. You're like living on the Normatex after practice. You're doing all these different things. For me, I always felt like if I could win my morning, I would be set up better for practice in the rest of the day.
Like try and get ahead, right, on your checklist.
Right, like if you're hitting the cold water, if you're doing things that has you juiced up for the day. Because if you're kind of in a mood or you're kind of like a little sluggish and it's either from the day before or you didn't do the right thing in the morning, you snoozed a little too much, that's usually where I get behind the 8 ball because then I get in my own head about it because I just, you like verbally beat yourself up. Like I know if I do X, Y, and Z in the morning, I'm going to be set up better for the rest of the day.
So you'd be like, set the tone.
Set the tone.
Gotcha.
That would be the juice, is set the tone, win the morning.
I like that.
That's the key. And in the film room, like, if we get some time, we get in there and dabble. But I'm sure you see it way differently than I do.
Same, I'd say the quarterback of the defense, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you got, quarterback brains. You guys got a lot of different animals going on.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
Family balance, life-work balance, right? Or work-life balance.
Yeah.
I guess in the NFL, and then like being able to come home. Let's say you had a bad day or a good day, and like you got the kids at home. I know your wife's probably holding it down, right?
Right.
But even the dog, like how did you...
Even the dog.
You're right? Like how did you balance that even on good or bad days after a game? Or like let's say you're tired. Like how did that work?
Well, fortunately, we have a 2-year-old. She just turned 2 last week. We didn't have her. Like fortunately, I wasn't playing when we had her. Okay. So honestly, gotcha. I think knowing what fatherhood and parenting entails now, I have no clue like how the boys did it, or just being away and stuff, and then coming back and your wife's holding the fort down, and just the parenting, the partnering that we kind of do with each other with Rue. You're thinking, man, if she had to do all of this solo, that would be tough. So honestly, like.
Shout out significant others.
Yeah, shout out significant others. But my advice would be, honestly, now that I'm on the other side, because it's hard for us because everybody's selfish. Yep. But I feel like our ambitions really take over on like, hey, I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to be the best in the game. Yep. None of that doesn't mean that the person at home or who you go home to isn't trying to be the best of what they do. So when you come home, it's not bringing your work home and everything else with it. Like, hey, I had a bad day. Can I just get a minute? I would say, like, you're sitting down with your wife, significant other, whatever it is, and you kind of plan out what your priorities are. Like, if you're somebody who needs an hour, have that expectation set before it happens. That way you're not in a reactive state coming home, right? So that would kind of be my advice, because there really is no, like Coach Lanning was talking about it when he was sitting down, but there really isn't no such thing as like work-life balance. It's like prioritize.
Especially in football, right?
Right, especially in football. But it's prioritize, and then when that priority comes, you got to pour into it. So if it's being a husband when you come home, if it's being a dad when you come home, and you know that's the expectation, then it's like you got to figure out a way to compartmentalize and learn that you're leaving everything else outside the door whenever you get home. That'd be my game for you, bro.
And then, sorry, I got another one. We're just firing off.
This is great.
So let's say for young high school guys coming up, right? Because I always get this question, but I'm like, I feel like NFL guys could answer this even better because you had it, let's say, at the highest pressure as well as probably the biggest marketing deals, I guess you could say. But high school guys coming into college, right? How do they manage like that side of things, right? The marketing agents while playing and be able to have a clear mind of like not mixing the two together, right? Because I feel like probably in your career, you probably wore a bunch of hats, right? Like setting up yourself up for success post football.
Absolutely.
While playing the game, while having family and trying to enjoy it all while staying level headed, right?
Yeah, man.
So how did you, I guess, manage that as well? Like the work side of it, you know, with all those relationships?
Well, now it's like high school going into college. Like that's a different animal. I was pre-NIL era. So fortunately it was all ball and everything. Not that it's not all ball, but you guys are in a world now that you're fast tracking to be an adult. You're bringing in money that you would have never seen, nor maybe your family have never seen, right? But what I'd say is even back when I was giving you the advice about like coming home and the work-life balance, and it all comes down to prioritizing. It's like you want to build the right team around you. You want to know who's in charge of what. That way you can free your mind of, okay, I want to focus on this. If this is stressing me out over here, how can I have the right person in place to help me manage that stress? It's all about prioritizing, pouring into those priorities and learning to say no if things aren't within those priorities. It's like the power of saying no means you're saying yes to what you have prioritized to help, you know, because what I've learned about myself, like, you know, you don't want to I don't like letting people down. So you might say yes, or you might overcommit to things. Or it's like, hey, I am juggling this out here, but I don't necessarily have the help to help me out. It's like learning, again, man, prioritizing and having the right team around you so that way you can be optimal as a football player.
Have you seen it like affect players, like rookies coming in, or like, I know you say pre-NIL because like I'm, let's say, a vet in college football, right? I've seen it affect younger guys, you know, wherever I've been. I feel like on the same level in the NFL, like has that been a,
absolutely,
I guess, a changing.
Yeah, you know, like whether it's young guys, even guys who have had experience in the league, like guys that'll stress about something, and in my mind or somebody else's mind, it might be like, man, if he would just do X, Y, and Z. But at that time when they're stressed and then venting to you, you're kind of just like trying to listen versus like, hey, you should do this. But legitimately, man, and yeah, for any high schoolers coming into college, I know it's a different ball game, but I was talking to I got to talk to Nebraska last week, and I was kind of telling them, like, we've all seen the show 30 for 30 broke, where 70 to 80% of NFL guys can be bankrupt within like 3 to 5 years. We're talking about grown, mature men with families that should have their head on straight, right? And you guys think you guys are just going to be an exception because of NIL, like money, and the same things can happen. It's like if you don't take advantage of the opportunity you have sitting here to amass that, like it's a privilege getting to have these deals and everything else. But, you know, whether you're in a quarterback or whether you get to be in a spot to have certain people around you, it's like letting those resources work for you and not against you. And I feel like a lot of times guys might feel like they have their own answers, or whoever at home might be telling him you should do X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying those people at home are wrong, but maybe there are times where you can doubt the advice you're hearing and pour into maybe the advice you're getting from your school, because ultimately the school has to adapt the same way that players are having to adapt. They need to pour into resources that help set you guys up for life after football, because there is an NIL world. And you want to be, if you're at Oregon, you want to be a spot to where families come in and you have every resource set up to be like, hey, your kid's coming here. He's going to make probably a lot of money that the kid's seen, that the family's seen, and we have things in place that makes it more attractive to come. So they got to be correct as well. So
there's always another level to it rather than just money, right?
Right.
And like even like what you're saying about other people, other voices, like that's real too. Like having good family members in your corner.
Yeah.
And I guess feeding you the right stuff, because what you hear ends up becoming what you think and what you end up doing down the road. Like, I feel like that's real too, of having good people in your life, right?
1,000%.
Because in the NFL, right, like a lot of people are probably telling you how to do what you should be doing, right?
Everyone's got an idea for you, or they got an investment. They got something. And I'm telling you, if you don't have the right group around you or the right team or the right people in place, it's like, hey, I really appreciate this. This seems awesome. If you don't mind sharing this information, here's my guy's email. And if they follow up and do all the right due diligence, then it's handled through the business advisor, right? And it's like, hey, I think this could be a good gig for you. This could be an opportunity for you. Hey, maybe it's not, but if you love it, then maybe we put a little bit here and there. But you have people giving you advice, and then ultimately it comes down to those people who are trying to pitch you stuff. If they respect you, then they're going to respect your process about it all. So again, it's like,
or if they really want to work with you, right?
Exactly.
They'll go through the
right protocol to do that, especially if you're giving them the time of day.
Yep.
I appreciate those questions, man. That was well, fun.
I feel like, you asked me a bunch of questions to know me, right? But I feel like there's so much to learn from you, and I don't get this opportunity a bunch, and I know we're doing it, here, but no, I just appreciate that. I think there's always something you can learn, and that's what my whole two things are, is like, you're never too old or too young to lead, and you're never too young or too old to learn. So
amen, bro.
Whatever it is.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things too, it's like, I hate seeing young athletes like not take advantage of the resources that are all around them. I mean, we have such a head start just being at a university. Like, I got to go to Nebraska. You're at Oregon right now, but be at the universities we've been at that have the resources to be successful, because one day it all ends.
I know it.
No matter what. I hope you play 10, 15 years, but one day
How was that day for you?
It wasn't that difficult. I feel like I had about as smooth of a transition as I could have envisioned in my head. Like, did I want it to end? Did I want to continue to be able to play at a high level or be seen as like, okay, we'll give him an opportunity to be a starter? Like, I was, at that point in my career, I was more of a backup special teams guy. And we fortunately started Bussin' with the Boys. So that ended up beginning to take off to where it made like, hey, whenever the moment does come, like, it's all good because this is doing well, thank God, because it was like year 7 where I was like a backup. I didn't get to play a whole lot on the Titans, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to be on a 90-man roster again and make a 53 versus being a guy known, hey, this will be a steady piece on our roster. I'm going to have to reinvent myself and make the team again. And I didn't necessarily, I was like overdoing that. And so fortunately, building Bussin' has helped build it into a good outlet, and it's allowed me to transition away from the game, because a lot of guys, they just don't get a call again, and they're training for it, and then it doesn't happen. And then if those
I feel
guys,
like we all know that one guy who's still training, and we know like
that's
there's
real.
no eligibility, or you know what I mean?
That's real.
I'm not being, but I feel like everyone knows that guy that you're like, gosh, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Or they're still taking opportunities to go play. And look, I know there's stories that motivate everybody to allow them to make those choices. Like, hey, I'm going to go down to this league, because you never know. You want tape, you want to get an opportunity. But when they do have to come to that harsh reality, a lot of guys didn't fortunately like take advantage of the time that they had while they're in the league. It's like when you're in the NFL, like while you're an Oregon Duck, I say it constantly, your jokes are funnier, you're better looking, and you can shake more hands. And if you don't do those things,
they're more interested, right?
Yeah, and you're way more interesting. And if you don't take advantage of those things now to set yourself up for the curiosities you have outside of the game, the moment the game ends, it looks a little different. You look a little bit more desperate. And then you beat yourself up. And then as men or athletes, like a lot of people do, you stay quiet about it. You don't talk about it. You're not vulnerable enough to share that, hey, you might be struggling. So it's like always one of those things, like why I've appreciated these questions. It's you sit there and you hate to see athletes like, piss it away because they were so obsessed with plan A.
Or not be present in the moment and create relationships that are real. Like if you're going to be in the building with this coach, like enjoy that time together and get to know them, because that relationship might go even further to you having a job down the road, or, like nobody, I feel like in the moment thinks about that, right? We're thinking right now. And I think that's what's hard for players too, right? Like as players, everyone's telling us focus on ball. That's it. Like, that's all you should be worried about, right? But then when you're done with ball, they're like, what were you doing while you were playing ball?
Yeah.
To me, it's like such a contradicting, like, thought. Like, how do we, help one another out and like talk through it, of like being able to have conversation and figure out like how do you focus on ball and still keep level-headed while being able to plan and set yourself up, for when it's done. But I think it's
because like you're saying, it's not like this poor me victimized mentality. Like, hey, feel sorry for athletes for doing this. It's just like, no, it's just if you, the individual, had any idea the opportunity you had to know that we have this head start and you're not taking advantage of it, like it ultimately becomes on you. But it's like, bro, you have to pour into, whether it's relationships. You brought that up, and I was thinking we have a common connection. James Dobson was my strength and conditioning coach at Nebraska. Dauber. He got the
neck
vein that comes out. Did he tell you that? I'm sure he preached to you guys the coffee bean story.
Oh, dude.
Be the coffee bean, not the hard-boiled egg or the carrot that gets soft in the boiling water.
He said that. That's weird you bring that up.
Be the coffee bean that sets the tone and makes the environment its own.
He's the best, though.
Bro, I was texting with him yesterday. I'm like, hey, Dillon Gabriel, like, you mind telling me some stuff about him? We hop on the phone. He had great things to say about you. And but he's a relationship that I've kept since at Nebraska. He was at Vanderbilt and I was at Tennessee. I'm training there. I hated when he went to Oklahoma just because that was my guy that trained me in the offseason.
Is that the rivalry, too, would you say, back in
Oklahoma, Nebraska?
I mean, you weren't that far back.
Yeah, I wasn't back in like the 90s when it was like the Oklahoma, Nebraska game and everyone salivated over it. Yeah. It kind of switched around because I played in both the Big 12 and the Big 10. So it maneuvered. Right now,
Nebraska's special, by the way. I played there. That place is crazy.
Thank you, man. Did Nebraska try getting you out of the portal?
When Coach Frost was there, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because when we were talking with Coach Rule, he had brought your name up. So I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, I wonder if they were in the running at all for you.
Gosh, no, I didn't hear from him, but
Coach Rule. Goddamn.
No, it's crazy though. But like, I remember the first third down there, dude, loudest. I mean, and I've played in some environments, which it's probably up there with the OU Texas game, but like that first third down, like I remember seeing, like, looking at my receiver in the eyes, and he's like this, like, like, oh my god.
It's one of those things like you're yelling and you can't even hear yourself,
dude.
Yelling.
And like, it's just, I think the craziest stadiums are when you can't see out of it. That to me is like you're in it, you know. Like I don't know, I don't want to say like the old Coliseum days or like Battle or whatever, but like when you can't see out, it's like, bro, you're in this bitch, like. Bro. You better come ready to play.
Yeah, man.
So I remember that first drive, they ended up going up 7-0, and we had the first drive. We ended up going 3 and out, but dude, it was unreal.
Yeah, you did. Did you beat us? You ended up beating us?
Yeah, we did.
I know. I just didn't know. I had no clue. Yeah. Which when you were with UCF?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma last year?
The year before.
Oh, yes. Shit.
It's a killer
best
atmosphere,
3-win team of all time.
Say that one more time.
Right? That was 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were it's on. Yes.
Oh, no, that was the year before. That was at OU? Yeah. That was at OU the year before. Yes.
Okay.
We ended
It was
up,
what? It was like
it got out of hand.
I was going to say in the first quarter, it was like maybe 14 all, and then you guys just went on 30 unanswered?
They were up 7-0. And
That's right. We had you guys in the sights.
It like this guy. Oh, that's good. But
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I want to bring this up.
Okay.
Because I hope somebody adopts this idea. I think, we're talking about college football, right?
Yeah.
I think you get 40 of the biggest logos. They don't have to be good right now, but the biggest logos, the most donors, and the biggest atmospheres. So you can put that all together, whatever. I don't want to say any names because, but you can imagine that, right? The bottom 5 every year goes down to play with let's say the second division. The top 5 of that goes back up. So it's ever changing, right? Like you want to be up there, you got to stay up there, right? You play, let's say with the 40 teams, you get 10 games. It all alternates. That goes to a seeding like a March Madness. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to butcher it, but that's probably 5 games, 15 games to get to the national championship.
You'd have to go to like break it down, 32 teams in a bracket.
Yeah, let's say, okay, because the bottom
top
5
32,
and 3, whatever.
yeah, the bottom 8 could potentially
So you
go
could
down.
do a March Madness and have the biggest atmospheres. You're playing coast to coast, and it doesn't affect other sports. So you can still have your, you know, but that football league is like the big 40, let's say. And now you can play.
I mean,
wouldn't
right
that be
now
cool?
It sounds fun.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like
bottom 8, kind of like an NIT tournament.
And you can still win, right? Because there's some merit to, like, what if, you know, a lower level school gets in that top 5 and they killed it that year, then they can come up for the year. You know, they earned it, right? And I don't know, I thought it'd be dope. You know, I thought, like, imagine if you could play coast to coast and play all the great atmospheres. Like, big noon kickoffs every week, dude. You know, like, what if we could have 5 big noon kickoffs? Like,
you're thinking big.
I'm just saying, like, players want it, coaches want it, fans want it. Everyone wants the big atmosphere, so why not recreate it?
Whenever the NCAA kind of folds at some point to create some of these super conferences, I'm sure the TV money and everything else, they'll try to come up with something as entertaining
For sure.
for that dollar amount.
For sure. It'll have to be you think it'll go into rev sharing and all that kind of thing?
I think so. I don't see why not. Right now, you guys are in such a situation where it could be free agency every day.
I know.
So you guys are in an advantageous spot as players, which is great. But
it is great
as
for the
far
players.
as, like,
yeah.
you know, how it's going to continue to evolve, like, yeah, they're going to want to come for something.
Yeah.
Be a union, there'll be something. You guys have a union yet?
We don't.
Not yet.
We don't.
I bet that'll be.
Maybe
that'll
Coach
be
Saban
happening,
can
right?
bring it together, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he's got it.
Yeah. Bro, I appreciate this conversation. This was
Of course.
fun.
Thank you.
You came with questions too.
I
I
did.
appreciate
Gosh, I had to.
that. What's your Instagram?
It's just my name. Dillon
Okay.
Gabriel.
Dillon Gabriel. Go follow the boy. Go follow the boy. You got anything else going on
I don't.
that people can?
Oh, I do have an event coming up May 3rd at my high school. We're getting the football boys right. Some new Nike uniforms.
Down in Hawaii?
Down in Hawaii, new helmets.
All of our Hawaii
We
audience.
got the helmet stickers.
Spread
So
the word.
we're revealing it. We'll have videos. We'll have pictures. It'll be sweet. It'll be fun.
That'll be fun, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Of course. Thank you.
Dillon, thank you.
Thank you.